Hundreds of people are feared dead after a boat capsized on the Niger River. The boat was taking mostly traders from Kogi State to a weekly market in neighboring Niger State when it capsized. 27 bodies have been recovered, with local divers and authorities trying to rescue others. Authorities have also not confirmed what caused the sinking. However, there are reports that the boat was carrying more than 200 passengers, suggesting it might have been overloaded. Overcrowding in vehicles is common in remote parts of Nigeria, where the lack of good roads leaves many with no alternative routes. Authorities also struggle to enforce safety measures and regulations for water transportation. Well, let's bring in Brigadier General Dele Tajuddin Olabode, retired, who is a former military humanitarian coordinator and a fellow at the Institute of Disaster Management and Safety Science. Thank you so much for joining us on the news tonight.
Thanks so much. It's a very good evening to you.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's on this very depressing note where we see a recurring incidence of boats capsizing in Nigeria with casualty figures that are just heartbreaking. But while we don't have the complete story and complete details about this incident, in the past, we hear overcrowding being responsible for such sinking. In your experience, do you also believe overcrowding may be responsible for this particular incident?
Yes, it's one of the critical causes of such situations. You know, the disaster situations regarding boat mishap in Nigeria is becoming too often these days. And most of the problems that normally lead to the causative agents of this kind of a situation has always been human-induced. Because and on the part of government, the usual rules and regulations are not being enforced. It's only when problem comes up that we start running around and start saying, apportioning blames. But we leave so many things undone. Before anything happens, it is when it has happened we start blaming people. These people are not operating in silos. They are in the open space whereby people could see them. And because of lack of enough facilities to convey people across, that's why that problem has always been recurring in Nigeria. So overloading is a critical factor.
And what are some of the other factors in your view? I mean, we are beginning to see this more frequently. Why do you think this is so? Why is this recurring, and what are the other factors?
When you look at, it's not that we don't have the laws. Laws are there to be enforced. But when people have apathy towards enforcement of all these rules and regulations, definitely you are bound to be experiencing this kind of ugly situation from time to time. So we have regulatory agencies, like the NIWA. NIWA is in charge of waterways, inland waterways. What are those measures that have already been highlighted for people that operate over these boats and ferry services? They are there. But once you keep the laws there, and it's not enforced, they continue to be experiencing this kind of situations. So another factor is the rules and regulations are there, but how effective have they been? It is only when you activate it that the thing becomes effective. But once it's not activated, you will continue to be having problems. And the failure to activate this kind of laws is still the same human factors.
So, talking about laws, I mean, just in 2023, to respond to these incidents, we had the Inland Waterways Transportation Code of 2023. It was hailed as a game changer to structure the waterways and to make it safer. But we haven't seen much of that change. There are also issues about PPEs, personal protective equipment such as life jackets, the condition of the boats. The NIWA, as you mentioned, has told us they are planning to phase out wooden boats, which is usually used in most of these instances. But it does look like there's no serious enforcement with the laws we have on ground. Why do people not want to wear life jackets? Is it that they're not available or they're not affordable? What's the issue?
If they are not available, why should they allow the people to operate boat services? Because if they are not available, that will form part of the fundamental basis that will be put forward before you can own and operate boat service and ferry services along those waterways. But once those laws are not there, when you look at the whole thing, we have about 67.21% of all incidents, when you look at it, are caused by human-related factors. Because you can't tell me an individual cannot be so powerful than the government. And the laws are made for people to enforce it. And once the law is properly enforced and sanctions are being meted out on people, and the people will sit up, such kind of situation will not, because it's not a jolly ride or it's a groovy moment where people will start. We are talking of lives now. We shouldn't be reactive. We should always be as much as being proactive. So that there are so many things, the problem we are facing now, they are avoidable. So why should we keep allowing such things to be flying? At the end of the day, we start sending condolence messages and other things. The laws must be adequately enforced. Most of these boats, they have lifespan, and they have the extent of the place they should go. So these things are there. Once putting all them together, it is there you'll be able to ascertain whether we are serious or not. But the things are there. Okay, now you have people that are regulating all these kind of activities within our inland waterways. What have they been doing? Okay, are they saying most of all these problems, those boats, they are always there in daytime. Can they carry out routine checks? Look at the plane now. When the plane has issues, they carry out all these periodic regulatory checks on them. Why should we allow the local areas be left out of all those things? Because that's where we should dissipate our energy. Because we talk of an early warning system, and we'll be applying it at the urban area. We leave out those people, and the large number of people reside in the rural area.
Okay, so Brigadier General.
So the issue is this: those people, they just don't.
I know your point. Go ahead.
I'm listening to you. Okay, I said the people, they don't just come in from the moon. They are within us now. When all those things, it's from manufacturing stage. If they are constructing the boat, the template ought to have covered from pre-manufacturing, during manufacturing, and post-manufacturing. It is there you'll be able to ascertain whether the rightful inspection has been carried out and the certification has been done. So if the certification has been done, then you now make the things river going. And if those things are not done, how are you sure they are river going? Something that it should carry 50 people will carry 200 because they don't have enough boat and nobody wants to be left behind. In the process of rushing, the boat now will get sunk, and the problem will continue to be a national calamity. Enough of all these things. We should allow things to be done in line with the rules of the game.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Brigadier General Dele Tajuddin Olabode, former military humanitarian coordinator and a fellow at the Institute of Disaster Management and Safety Science. We do appreciate your time here.